The war in Ukraine continues with full intensity. June 20th, 2026. SBU's Alpha Special Operations Center turning identified targets into Russian casualty statistics day after day. What you're about to see is a pattern that repeats endlessly across this front. Russian soldiers, alone, exposed, often with no clear objective, wandering through open terrain, hiding under trees, standing still, hoping not to be seen. Day or night, it makes no difference. Whatever training they received, whatever instincts they're relying on, none of it accounts for what's already watching from above. This is what that looks like, strike after strike. A soldier standing motionless under a tree. He has to see the drone coming, but doesn't move. Maybe he believes staying still keeps him hidden. It's a pattern seen often on this front. Whatever the reasoning, it doesn't work. Pokrovsk direction. A Ukrainian FPV drone threading directly through an open hatch on a Russian Bukhanka van. Precision flying from Ukraine's 414th Brigade Magyar's birds. A shot most operators wouldn't even attempt. A Russian soldier taking cover in what should be the smartest spot on the battlefield. Dense tree cover. But for Ukraine's Sapson battalion operating fiber-optic FPV drones, the trees aren't an obstacle. He runs, trying to put distance between himself and the drone. It doesn't work. The drone keeps pace, weaving through the trees, and eventually catches up. Caught in the open, he sees the drone coming, but doesn't react, doesn't run, doesn't defend himself, just keeps walking, watching it approach. It hits. Hidden in the bushes, thinking it's enough. At first glance, almost nothing is visible, but for the operator watching, the smallest movement was all it took. Night, an ambush drone, waiting on the ground, spots a soldier walking down the road. It lifts off immediately. In the darkness, he never even sees it coming. A Russian soldier watched through a drone feed, standing just outside his trench, scanning the area, completely unaware he's being tracked from a distance. Ukraine's 155th Mechanized Brigade, operating in the Pokrovsk direction, follows every move through thermal imaging. While this surveillance continues, a high-explosive FPV drone is already inbound. He suddenly stops, looks around. He must have heard it. Panic sets in. He rushes back inside the trench, looking for cover. Minutes later, the drone reaches the position, enters through the entrance, and detonates inside. The shelter that was supposed to be his safest option becomes the one place he can't get out of. A Ukrainian soldier firing at Russian positions hidden in tree cover. 2 shots, both finding their mark. Based on the trajectory and the weapon visible in the footage, this looks like a PSR-L1, an American-made RPG-7 variant modified here to fire 82mm mortar rounds. A creative adaptation, turning an anti-tank launcher into an indirect fire weapon against infantry positions in the woods. A Russian soldier on a motorbike circling near a destroyed gas station, likely searching for fuel. Ukraine's Omega Special Forces FPV drone finds him first. By the time he notices, there's no time left to react. A lone Russian soldier walking through a remote stretch of the front line. Above him, a reconnaissance drone from Ukraine's Magyar's birds unit, watching every step. He has no idea. The heat is clearly getting to him. He stops a few times, scans the area, keeps moving. No sense of what's coming. He finds a shaded spot under a tree and lies down to rest. That's when the FPV drone arrives, closing in fast. Too fast. He doesn't even get the chance to raise his weapon. A Russian drone control point, destroyed by Ukrainian aviation. The operators who were directing strikes against Ukrainian positions, taken out at the source. Whatever drones were being coordinated from here never launched. An ambush drone waiting right outside a Russian shelter entrance. The plan is simple. Strike whoever steps out. A soldier walks out, completely unaware. The drone strikes before he even reacts. Every supply mission to the front seems to end the same way. Failure. Ukraine's Hlibivske unit has southern Donetsk under constant drone surveillance. Russian soldiers waiting on ammunition, food, equipment. But the vehicles carrying it never make it through. Countless drones, hundreds of supply vehicles destroyed throughout the day. The men on the front line are still waiting. A vehicle spotted moving, then parking in a wooded area. Minutes later, an FPV drone is sent in. Up close, the vehicle's windows are covered with cardboard and a Russian soldier is inside. The drone strikes. The vehicle catches fire. He grabs what he can and bolts from the area. A Russian fuel truck swerves at the last second. The drone misses by inches. A rare moment where the driver wins. Russian logistics trucks moving behind the front line, far enough that the drivers likely assumed they were safe. Ukraine's 15th Artillery Reconnaissance Brigade, Black Forest Unit, had other plans. Multiple strikes hitting these convoys mid-route, not at the start, not at the destination, but right in the middle, exactly when they're hardest to defend. Trucks carrying supplies that were never going to make it to the front. Every vehicle hit here is one less delivery reaching Russian positions. The supply chain doesn't just get disrupted at the source or the destination anymore. It's being cut apart everywhere in between. A Russian supply truck spotted unloading ammunition at a position, every moment tracked from above. As soldiers continue unloading, FPV drones are sent in. The first hits the truck's fuel tank, a strong initial strike. But it doesn't stop there. The drone identifies a separate pile of artillery shells nearby and goes for that too. A massive secondary explosion follows. What was supposed to be a routine resupply operation ends in complete failure. Ukraine's Apache unit operating Hlibivske strike drones, systematically targeting Russian personnel, vehicles, and shelters across the sector. The message for Russian forces is simple. No position guarantees safety anymore, no matter how far behind the front it sits, no matter how well it's hidden. A Russian tank rolled out into open terrain, wrapped in improvised metal plating, clearly built to deflect drone strikes, layers of extra armor welded on for exactly this threat. A lot of effort went into protecting this vehicle. Ukraine's Apache unit found it anyway. A few precise strikes, and all that extra armor didn't matter. The tank is no longer combat capable. Ukrainian MiG, 29 pilots, 2 precision strikes on a Russian staging area and ammunition depot. Personnel and munitions hit at the same location. A facility that won't be supplying anything to the front anymore. Fiber-optic ambush drones, one of the most dangerous tactics Russia uses on this battlefield. Sitting silently, waiting for a target, immune to standard jamming since they're wire-guided instead of radio-controlled. That's exactly why finding and destroying them before they activate has become a top priority for Ukrainian forces. Everyone found here is one less ambush waiting to happen. The night of June 19th, 2026, Ukraine's 413th Special Forces Regiment raid strikes the Hlibivske underground gas storage facility again, this time near the village of Dozorn on the Tarkhankut Peninsula in Crimea. This facility has already been hit before. Russia keeps trying to restore it. Ukraine keeps coming back. A critical piece of Crimea's gas infrastructure targeted for a second time in days, and the message is clear. Rebuilding it isn't going to be enough. Donetsk from above, green fields, rivers, the kind of landscape you'd want to admire. But for Ukraine's Henichesk unit, this is a daily routine of intercepting Russian drones before they reach Ukrainian soldiers and cities. In just 1 month on the Kostiantynivka direction, this unit alone destroyed over 50 Russian drones, Lancets, Zalas, Molnias, and more. A war fought not just on the ground, but constantly in the sky above it. Kharkiv region, Russian equipment rolling into position. Ukraine's 41st Mechanized Brigade drones are already waiting. The outcome here is always the same. The moment a vehicle takes its position, it gets struck. No time to set up. No time to dig in. The night of June 20th, Ukraine's 414th UAS Brigade, Magyar's Birds, hit 4 gas compressor stations across Crimea in a single night. Facilities critical to the peninsula's energy infrastructure. a road bridge over the Henichesk Strait struck by the 427th Brigade, a tugboat in Skadovsk, fuel tankers in Donetsk and Kherson regions, a heavy 8x8 transport vehicle, armored vehicles, including a Typhoon K, hit in Luhansk, and more than a dozen logistics transports struck across Crimea, Donetsk, Kherson, and Luhansk, all in the same operation. This wasn't a single target. This was a coordinated effort to disrupt gas, fuel, transport, and military logistics simultaneously, deep behind Russian lines. What you just watched is happening every single day. Soldiers wandering with no objective, hiding in bushes, ambushed on dark roads, supply trucks intercepted before they arrive. As of June 19th, Russia's total combat losses have reached approximately 1,389,420 personnel, over 1,370 in the last 24 hours alone. This war has now lasted 1,578 days, longer than all of World War I. Russia still attacks across multiple sectors, but Ukraine has recaptured over 600 square kilometers this year. Deep behind the lines, Ukraine struck gas stations in Crimea, fuel tankers, and dozens of logistics convoys in a single night. Russia keeps sending men forward, Ukraine keeps stopping them. The front hasn't broken, but everything feeding it keeps burning. Drop a comment. How much longer can this go on?